Welcome to day 2 of clarinet videos. Today's lesson, I'm going to add to the warm-up that we did yesterday. I'm going to do a different exercise. It's the second one on the sheet, and it's called twelfths. So we'll go through that, and then I'm going to show you how to learn scales using the scale sheet that you should also have access to. It's this stuff that's going to make you play as well as possible, so that when you get to band rehearsals and all the fun stuff, you can have as much fun as possible. Yesterday's warm-up, the first warm-up on the sheet, we started at open G, no fingers, and worked our way playing every semitone down the instrument all the way down to low E, which is the lowest note on the instrument. So in today's warm-up, we're going to start at the low E. When I'm practicing myself, I usually do these in order so that I just continue from the low E when I reach it. For some of you, this will introduce a brand new set of notes, which is really cool. We're going to start on the low E fingering, which is all 6 top holes covered and both pinkies on these 2 keys. If you can see that. We're going to start there, and then after 4 beats, we're going to open the register key with as little motion as possible from your thumb. Okay. And the upper register B will come out. We're going to set the metronome at 60 again, 4 beats per note. And again, you can hold the second note a little bit longer so that you're using more air. Here we go. And you're aiming for as smooth a transition as possible. So the next set of notes is low F, that pinky, up to, with the register key, that's a C. Good. And then the next one, at low F sharp, so you add that pinky, and then add the register key, and a high C sharp comes out. Good. Those are the 3, sometimes they're the 3 most difficult ones to make work properly, simply because you're using the pinky keys. Okay, and for some of you that can be a bit of a challenge. Some of your instruments might make it a little difficult too. And again, if we were live and in person, I could be checking your instruments and fixing very often this mechanism because it gets a bit silly. And it's a very easy fix for me to do, but sometimes it makes it challenging to play both of those notes clearly. So we go to G, no pinkies. This might be a lot easier for some of you, especially if you're new to this exercise. And if you can hear, I am doing a diminuendo on the second note, trying to just gradually make it softer and softer towards the end of the note. Okay, and that's a valuable skill to be learning. G sharp or A flat here, so it's G with this pinky key added, and when you hit the register key, that becomes a D sharp or an E flat. Okay, you use an E flat very often. 2, 3. Good. I'll do a few more of these. So next, A flat, A natural. Okay. A natural. Register key, that becomes an E. Okay, I strongly encourage you, while you're doing this exercise, do it with the music, the sheet that I gave you. Okay, you can either print that out or just read it from your device, doesn't matter. Especially if you're new to these notes, it's going to teach you how to read them and also what the fingerings are. And it'll get you a lot more comfortable with those newer fingerings. Because if you've only been playing for a year, year and a half, you may not be familiar with these notes yet. And this is a fantastic way to get you playing them comfortably and also learning how to read them and the fingerings. Okay? A will go up another one, lift up the middle finger there, and it becomes a B flat. In the upper register, it becomes an F. And here we go. Where's my metronome? Okay, we got a weird fingering now. B flat going up to B natural. Simply take your ring finger and press that sliver key. Okay, and again, because if you're playing regular music, B flat to B natural is difficult to do. So B natural, register key becomes an F sharp. 3. Okay, we'll do one more today. I know it goes up higher on the sheet, but we'll just stop at the C. So if you lift off these two fingers, now it becomes a C in the low register and a G in the upper register. 3. Okay, excellent. If you notice, I never tongue between those two sets of notes. I'm always slurring between the two notes. And there is a slur marked on the sheet for you as well. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about today and go over with you today was scales. And I've included a scale sheet for you as well. And basically, if you look down the left-hand side of the sheet and look at the key signatures, it starts off no sharps and flats and then adds one sharp or flat and then two sharps and flats and then etc. Okay, so it's getting gradually more complicated. You certainly are not expected to be able to play the whole sheet immediately. If you can, great. It depends how long you've been playing the instrument. As to how many of these notes you've learned. Again, learning scales for the first time, it's a great way to learn new notes and how to use them in context. Okay, but kind of what I want to talk to you about today is how to practice the scales. All right, so I like to start fairly slow. I'm going to set my metronome to 70 beats per minute. Very slightly. You can maybe hardly tell the difference between that and 60. It's not a big difference. And I'm going to play the whole scale in half notes. So 2 beats per note. And we're going to start with the C scale, okay, the one on the top of the page. So let's do it together. You breathe when you need. Try not to breathe between the A and the B. Okay, I am going to go straight up the octave. If you haven't been playing for very long at all, I haven't written this out, but you could go down to the low B and the low C instead of the high B and high C. But try, now that you've been playing those in the warm-up exercises, try with the high B and high C. Okay, and again, this is a great way to learn how to move up the scale to incorporate those. So 2 beats per note, here we go. 3. Okay, good. I strongly encourage you to play along with me while I'm doing this. When I played it in half notes, assuming that I haven't made too many mistakes and need to fix some stuff and figure out any fingerings, maybe going from that A to the B, because you're going from basically no fingers, just that one on the A key, to everything being covered for the high B. That may take a little bit of work for less experienced students. Okay, once I've done it in half notes, I play it in quarter notes. 2, 3. Excellent. And then you can play it in eighth notes, so 2 notes per beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And that becomes really important to breathe in time, so that you have a good chance of playing eighth notes with the metronome. 2, 3. Okay? When I've done that, I like to start adding in some tonguing. When you tongue on a clarinet, if this is the angle of the clarinet and my fingers represent my mouth, okay, your clarinet's coming in here. This is my tongue. I want basically to touch right there on the reed. Just above the tip of my tongue, just at the tip. Not straight on the tip, just below the tip of the reed. Okay. Just play a few low C's with the metronome. Do, 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 to get a feel for that. Okay. And what I want you to do is just tongue the first note of each beat. So it's every second note, like this. 3 and... So you're slurring 2, and you're slurring 2 every single time. Okay? When you've done that and you get comfortable doing that, you can slur the first 2 and tongue the second 2. Okay, give it a try. Ready? 3. Okay? Very, very common articulation pattern that. You see it a lot in your band music. If you haven't seen it yet, you will. And then I do the opposite of that. So I tongue the first 2, and I slur the second 2. 3. Okay, and then you can tongue all 4 of them. So you're tonguing every single note. 3. Good. And that's a really simple way to go through your scales. Starting slow is really important. I start at half notes, maybe even whole notes, 4 beats per note. And then gradually get faster to 8th notes. And as you get older, you can add in 16th notes to that later. And then play those articulation patterns. Then you're playing the scale several times. And that's the other thing, is that you really learn the patterns, the fingering patterns, very, very well, and you start to memorize the scales. If you're feeling really good about that, you just did everything at 70, speed it up and start again. Let's put it on 78 just for fun. You can do smaller increments if you like, and if you only do it once in a day, when you go back to that scale the next time, the next day that you practice, speed the metronome up just a little bit so that you are gradually learning how to play it faster. But then follow the same routine. So I'm going to go through this fairly quickly without talking. Here we go. Half notes. 3. To breathe, and then do quarter notes. 3. And then 8th note slurred. 3. said that wrong. I meant two slurred. And then two slurred and two tongued. 3. And then the opposite, two tongued and two slurred. 3. And then tongue everything. 3. Excellent. Okay, so today I've added onto the warm-up routine for you. Okay, and again, I usually do both of those when I'm getting ready for my day's playing. The scale routine, again, I do one scale a day. You can take, and what I suggest for now actually is that you take one scale, play it at a couple of different speeds, that routine that we just did, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes with those articulation patterns. Do that at a couple of speeds every day. I would play the same scale for a week if I were you. If you were my private student, I would assign one scale per week and expect that you are playing it at a couple of speeds a day and gradually getting faster throughout the week. So if you do 70 and 78 on the first day, maybe try 78 and 82 on the second day and then gradually get faster. Okay. And that will put you in really, really good stead to be improving very, very fast. Okay. So, hope you got something out of that. Have a great day, and I will do another video for you very shortly. Number 3.